evening and good to have you with us on this edition of the Urban Debate. Tonight, once again, we put the spotlight on how our national capital is choking. Tonight, at the cost of repetition, I am still going to talk about how year after year our governments fail us and the air quality dips as winters arrive. Tonight, once again, we ask why is it that the states haven't been able to complete their jobs, to do their tasks. Let me highlight to you what happened today. Another plea filed in the Supreme Court asking Supreme Court to ban stubble burning, which has been going on in neighboring states of Delhi. The Supreme Court has now decided to set up a committee that will be led by a retired SC judge. Supreme Court said that we are aware of the steps taken by Punjab and Haryana. Despite the measures, the farm fires continue. Only want cleaner air for our citizens. Stubble burning needs to be monitored. A monitoring committee to prevent farm fires will be set up. In fact, Justice Madan Lokur, who recently retired, will be the one who will monitor this situation, the one who will head this committee. Now, imagine this, viewers. The Supreme Court is saying we will now set up a committee and appoint a SC judge to look at how stubble burning is still going on despite the fact that people have taken measures. We are concerned about the health of the citizens of the national capital and the air that they are breathing. And this includes those part of the Delhi government. This includes those in Supreme Court itself. Every single one of them is getting affected by this. So the Supreme Court has decided to step in. But here's the interesting part. This isn't the first time. Our team did some digging up, and you will be shocked that such is the state of affairs that there have been over 100 orders from the Supreme Court when it comes to pollution in the last 5 years. Over 100, 128 to be precise. And yet, the citizens of Delhi haven't had any relief when it comes to what air they are breathing. Something is terribly going wrong here. Either the governments are brazen and defiant or completely oblivious to the steps that they are meant to take or have taken and how it's impacting, or nothing seems to be working on ground. But in 2015, SC stepped in with 2 orders. In 2016, there were 6 orders. In 2017, 2 orders. In 2018, 73 orders. In 2019, 45 orders were passed by the highest court in this country. Have you really ever heard of any other issue where the top court has heard the matter in great detail, passed 128 orders, and yet on ground, people are still breathing toxic air, living in a gas chamber? What's going on? And how do we fix this problem? That's the big question I'm asking tonight. Let's say good evening to the panelists who are with me. Nikhil Jain, advocate with the Supreme Court and treasurer for the Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association. Aditya Dubey, also a petitioner who's gone to the Supreme Court seeking help. Raman Malik, spokesperson for the BJP. Abhishek Dutt, spokesperson for the Congress Party. And Reena Gupta, spokesperson for the Aam Aadmi Party. Let me see if I can go across to Aditya Dubey first. Aditya, you've gone to the Supreme Court with a specific plea. Why did you decide to do that? What are you seeking from the top court?
I wish that the government does something about the issue, about the stubble burning issue right now, because the stubble burning issue has been contributing for a long time, and it has almost a 44% contribution in air pollution in Delhi. This is also because of the change in wind directions. But the main cause of the air pollution in Delhi is stubble burning. And despite so many years that the air pollution issue has been persisting, the government hasn't taken any steps which have actually done something. We hope that some steps would be taken and some action would be taken this year but nothing has happened yet. And the COVID-19 crisis will further be aggravated by the air pollution. So something needs to be done. Otherwise, many people are going to die.
Aditya, are you a student in school, college? What prompted you to take this upon yourself?
See, I'm a student in class 12 in modern school, Barakhamba Road, and like, um, like we have been taught about air pollution, stubble burning, and I've been working for environmental causes for the past few years. So this is an issue which is kind of very close to my heart because, for example, uh, last year I saw on social media about how a teenager like me died because the crisis caused due to the air pollution in Delhi. And that day I sort of promised myself that I would do something about this. But nothing has. But 1 year has gone and 1 year has gone and come by, and we are in the next session, in the next year, and still the issue is persisting. The stubble burning fires are actually more in number than last year. So
Okay, point well taken. I just wanted our viewers to also know that here is the, the new generation, the youngsters of our country who are now having to take this fight upon themselves because everything else seems to have failed and all of us have failed in providing them clean air. Just in case you didn't know, our viewers, the pollution is the leading cause of diseases like asthma, emphysema, bronchitis, even getting a stroke. Children are the most vulnerable, and at young age, when they are exposed to such bad toxic air, they develop lifelong diseases, lifelong breathing problem, and other disabilities. Air that students in Delhi breathe is four times more toxic than what the safety limit is as prescribed by WHO. This can also cause abnormal pregnancies, several other medical issues and conditions. And in Delhi every year, just in Delhi, as per Help Delhi Breathe NGO, there are 30,000 deaths because of toxic air. So I am not surprised. I am glad that youngsters, school-going students like Aditya are now are picking this up and going to the court. I am also slightly ashamed that we've not been able to give them cleaner air. And so this needs to be a wake-up call for all our political parties and all our governments and institutions whose responsibility this is. And even you and I, as we do our own bit for the environment and for clean air. But let me go across to Mr. Raman Malik, who I believe was vehemently disagreeing to some points that were being made earlier. Mr. Malik?
When we've been debating this for the last 5 years, 4 years. On your channel, me, you, earlier Faye, we have debated this issue. And it's a sorry state of affair that we are still talking on the same issues. And this sorry state of affairs has to be understood because Aditya here, who has filed, probably is wrong on his facts. And the Union Minister taking care of the environment, Mr. Javadekar, has come out with a clear statement stating that 95% of the pollution that is generated in Delhi is because of Delhi itself and 5% comes from stubble. I would not like to sit down and start researching on this channel right now where exactly and how much percentile is because of the stubble burning. But stubble burning is just one of the many reasons. And if you look at what has been done, at least I can tell you, the right next state to Delhi is Haryana. I can give you figures of all the kind of works that we have done and the kind of investment we have done. Yes, it's a major issue. It will take time, but we have committed to it to the extent that we are from 2018 onwards, there have been, registered cases have reduced. Yes, the effects have started to come in. the kind of investment that is supposed to be done by the government of the state and center, both are being done. Thousands of crores of rupees are being made available to address this issue. Also, we will not go and talk about that Punjab is just spending around 20 crore rupees for this crop management issue. But I am talking about, if I talk about Haryana, which is right next, barring the few 400-500 crores that was spent in 2018, there's an additional 1300 crores which has been designed only by the state government for this management and other issues.
No,
You will be
Mr.
surprised
Raman
we've
Malik,
given around
Mr. Raman Malik, let me
170
just make
crore
this
rupees
clear.
only for
Let's
straws.
Mr. Raman Malik, let's talk about the fact that if you are saying, and data does suggest that for Haryana, the number of fires are much lesser than Punjab, that you have done some work between center and the state, then tell me, Mr. Raman Malik, what is it that the Haryana government has done? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about steps taken and not taken by those, by the governments and the parties that you represent, rather than saying what the other person hasn't done. Let's try and have a constructive conversation. Maybe the Punjab government can learn something from you.
I'll tell you. 2018, between 6th to 30th of the same period, there were 4,122 cases registered. In 19, the cases came down by 68% to 1,314 cases. We have given 1,000 rupee incentive reward for people to, communicate to us that stubble burning is happening, and there have been people who have taken this reward. There have been over 2,002 FIRs registered, 7 suspensions, 23 charge sheeting done in the last year. That is 19. This is, I'm talking about 19 data. 20 we are supposed to have. 19 to 20. We have 19, 18 and 19. We've given 24,705 machines to make stocks of the straws. 24,700. This is about 170 crore rupees of investment into that. Out of which around 850 we have given to panchayats. We are creating CHC. CHC is basically centers which are going to be leasing out these machines to individuals and panchayats whenever they require. So those reserves are also being created. Individuals are giving 50% and panchayats are being given 80% subsidy in buying these straw welders. Let's say if we start talking about straw balers, till 5th November 64, and from 6th November till 11th November 19, there were 131. So 131 and 64 stock baler in units, which are basically units which convert these straws into products, have been set up in 2019. I'm talking about. In 2018-19, we had already spent around 453 crore rupees, right? And 1,000 rupees per acre incentive for making and giving your straw to the government was given. So if I have to continue, I can continue.
Okay.
Even this
so
year,
let's take this pick.
Tanvi, just last
No.
one
I
statement.
took this point. Let me take this point across to Abhishek Dutt. I will come back to you. Let's take it point by point. Abhishek Dutt, if the Haryana government can take these initiatives for the incentives, filing FIRs, providing the machines, why is it that the Punjab farmers are telling the court that they have not been given any machines, that they have not been given any support from the government?
Tanvi, as we start, first of all, I want to congratulate Aditya for moving to the Honorable Supreme Court, and also apologize to Aditya and all young students that somewhere down the line, all of us across the party line have let this down, and we need to find a solution. My friend from the Bharatiya Janata Party was giving big figures, talking about big speeches, but as we speak, I was checking the air quality level. At the moment in Ludhiana, the quality level is 32, Amritsar is 112, Delhi is 172, Panipat and Faridabad is around 160. This is the air quality level. So I don't know what exactly are they doing, and if they're spending crores and crores of taxpayers' money, like he just said, I don't know what are they trying to achieve. I have a better way of taking this debate forward. Tanvi, the article that my friend from the Bharatiya Janata Party was talking, very clearly states that only 4% is the reason for stubble burning. I want to go a step ahead. If you talk about stubble burning, whether it is in Punjab and Haryana, it happens for a very small specific period. Why in the month of December, Punjab and Haryana, the air quality level are clean, but in Delhi, we are still suffering with bad air quality? Actually, if the stubble burning stops, if the air quality improves in the NCR region, why Delhi still suffers in December and December becomes more toxic for Delhi? I want to ask my friend from Delhi government, have they followed the solid waste management rules? If you go
No,
by the
Mr.
solid
Abhishek
waste
Dutt,
management,
may I just please just again come in?
yes, please. Yes,
Mr.
please.
Abhishek Dutt, before you ask questions of the Aam Aadmi Party and the Delhi government, let's talk about the steps being taken by your party in Punjab. Everybody
Tanvi-
admits that stubble burning is
Tanvi-
not the only reason for Delhi's problems today. Everybody knows that, but it is a part of the problem. A part of the problem where Supreme Court has now given it so much importance that they have gone ahead and said that we are going to set up a committee to monitor this stubble burning. A part of a problem that Supreme Court is convinced of, to the point that last year they actually gave a warning to the Delhi Chief Secretary and the Punjab Chief Secretary saying we will hold you in contempt and send you to jail if you don't do your job properly. Unfortunately, even that hasn't worked. So let's not deny that this is a part of the problem
Tanvi-
and a part that falls
Tanvi-
on the Congress party and the Punjab government.
Tanvi, if you remember 2 days back, we had this debate on the same very topic where we discussed about all the steps which the Punjab government has taken, whether it is about Happy Seeders, whether it is about writing to EPCA or the steps of setting call centers. But we must realize one thing. If you talk about Happy Seeders, if you talk about these machines, if you look at the total cost of these machines, in case we want these machines to be provided to all the farmers, the central government has to come forward and support these states. Even UP, Punjab, Haryana independently can't afford to buy such machines. So the central government has to support. And when you talk about FIRs, I would welcome the Supreme Court coming forward and registering FIRs. It's too much of Supreme Court coming in and saying they should take action now. Why are we only talking about that? The Supreme Court, they should come forward and file FIRs. Why aren't they filing FIRs? If the Punjab government or the UP government or the Delhi government is to be blamed, because this is the air that we all are breathing. Why are we fighting that 4%, 5%? The fact is the Delhi air is bad. And what are we doing towards it? After 15 days, your stubble burning will stop. Do you think after 15 the Delhi air will get clean? Absolutely not. If you look at the data given by the Ministry of Environment, they said stubble burning is equal to 4%, but at times it has gone to 15 to 16%, and on one specific day it went to 42%. Yes, stubble burning is a problem, but that is not the only problem. So I would want your debate to be on a bigger level, that what are the steps that the government need to take to control stubble burning or to control pollution levels in Delhi. And I'm concerned about Delhi because I come from Delhi. My son is 5 years old. They don't go out when the air pollution comes out. I want to ask you something. What about the transportation in Delhi? So if you only follow the solid waste management rules in Delhi, you will control the landfill sites. You'll do segregation of waste. You know, it is very simple. How do you control landfill sites in Delhi? You're not talking about landfill sites. If you look at the monstrous structure at the landfill site, it is embarrassing. The moment you enter Delhi, the kind of dust that you see around, where is that dust coming from? If you see the kind of vacuum machine they were supposed to use, and you know, I'm not blaming the Aam Aadmi government, but they have to come
We will come to what the Delhi government has to do. Again, yes, but again, I'm sorry, I'm getting lesser answers from you on what the Punjab government is doing, because that answer just boils down to, oh, we wrote a letter to the Prime Minister last year and now we're still waiting for the centre to give us the money.
Like I told you,
we stand by the farmer and fight with them shoulder to shoulder when it comes to the farm bills. Now we don't dare to take stricter action against them or provide them the machines. The Punjab farmers have gone to the Supreme Court and said, we've not gotten any machines, and that's the reality, isn't it?
Tanvi, I would like to correct you. If you go by the figures, more than 52,000 farms the Punjab government has already worked upon. 7,000 call centers are running in Punjab government. But yes, there is not sufficient funds to provide. Yes, if you look at, if you want, I will share the data with you.
Now, I think
I will share the data, and I hope if you follow the same in Haryana, you will be able to control their pollution levels.
Mr. Abhishek Dutt, at the end of the day, I don't care, Mr. Abhishek Dutt. I'm glad Congress government set up call centers, but if the call centers are not able to clamp down on the problem, they're of no use. Now let me bring in two other panelists. Reena Gupta has to respond, but Reena Gupta, before that, Aditya wanted to make a point, and because he's the one who's raised the issue
Tanvi,
and
you
want
must
to
allow
quote
me
for
to
stubble
come in
burning,
now.
let him make his point, and then we'll go across to Reena
very
Gupta.
patiently.
I will.
Yeah, so Mr. Malik was saying that the stubble burning doesn't amount to the Delhi air pollution law. So, according to Suffolk, the air pollution in Delhi today accounts for 16%, and CPCB last year on 1st November said that stubble burning accounts for 44%.
For one day.
So,
One day.
what?
It was a one day, it was
Was it
40%.
for the entire
6 days,
period,
it was
Aditya?
15 days. One day.
And what about the
But let's
Suffolk?
let's not discourage Aditya, and we must encourage Aditya. His facts are absolutely right. Your government very clearly has said on one day it was 40%, on an average of 6 to 10 days it was 15%. So we need to encourage people like Aditya rather than just criticizing and I must appreciate Aditya, even the work he did during coronavirus.
Okay. Yes, in fact, I just want to point this out again. It will boil down to your version versus my version of what the contribution is. Fact of the matter is, stubble burning shouldn't happen. It is just bad for environment. It's bad for Punjab. It's bad for Haryana. It's bad for the national capital, and it should not be happening. That's the reality. Let's just address that versus saying whether it is 30% or 40% or 50%. It's a cause. That's why Supreme Court is spending so much time in trying to fix this problem. Now, Reena, thank you for patiently waiting to your response to what the other two sides have said. But please, again, I will say, stick to the part which is about what the Delhi government is doing. Otherwise, we'll just go around in circles blaming the other side. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so I hope I'll get the same amount of time that everybody else got. Basically, let me start by saying that, first of all, I'm quite sad at the level of the debate. We are still saying Punjab did this, UP did this, Haryana did that. First of all, let's recognize that air pollution does not recognize air boundaries, state boundaries. It's one airshed of at least 300 kilometers around Delhi. So unless we all come together, it'll be year after year, we'll be sitting on these channels and debating the same issue. Now, who can actually bring us all together? It's the responsibility of the union government to bring all the neighboring states together. And it's not just these neighboring states and these cities. If you look at the list of 100 most polluted cities in the world, 17 of those are probably in UP. So, India as a whole, we have to think beyond playing the blame game and really look at solutions and work together towards a solution. And I'm very sad to say that, and in fact, I challenge my panelists from BJP, if you could name a single thing that the union government did, except for saying that, only stubble burning only causes 4% of the pollution. Mrs. Sitharaman had announced 4,400 crores in the budget for clean air. Where is that money? I'm yet to see a single penny of that money flowing to any of the states. And now coming to stubble burning, I'm sorry to say that, we can throw these numbers in the air, 5,000 call centers and 4,000 happy seeders and 5,000 of this and 7,000 of that. But in reality, even if every happy seeder that has been distributed was to be used to the maximum efficiency, we will not be able to cover even 50% of Punjab and Haryana. The reason being that these schemes are impractical schemes. A farmer who's the most indebted person in the whole value chain, now you're expecting, you want to file FIRs on the farmer and you want to basically penalize the farmer who's the poorest person even furthermore. The farmers have been saying that please give us 100 to 200 rupees per quintal. Why can't the central government accept the demand and give 100 rupees per quintal to the farmers? We can keep talking about happy seeder. A happy seeder costs around 1.7 lakh rupees. It's used even after all the subsidy. If it were to reach the farmer's account, it will still cost him 75,000 rupees for a machine which is used 25 days in the whole year. Which farmer in this country is going to invest in such a machine? So let's not keep talking about these solutions which on the ground are not practical at all. And even beyond the happy seeder and the stubble burning.
So let's talk about what the Delhi government has done in the last 1 year.
Yes. So in the last 1 year, just two more stats I would give you, and these are not stats of Delhi government or the central governments. These are stats of independent organizations like CSE and TERI. So the TERI report of 2018 said that the PM 2.5, 64% of PM 2.5 in Delhi comes from outside Delhi. The second report by CSE, which came out last year, said that because of the various works done by the Arvind Kejriwal government, the air pollution in Delhi has gone down by 25%. Just to list 4 things that we did. We shut down all the power plants in Delhi. And yesterday, the Environment Minister of Delhi has written a letter to CPCB and to EPCA asking them why they have not shut down the power plants which have been in violation of Supreme Court orders for so many years. They are using outdated polluting technology. And the Haryana government, the Punjab governments, they are the most irresponsible government as far as the power plants are concerned. There is large-scale corruption. These power plants are allowed to run and they just pay a measly fine. So this is the worst interpretation of polluter pays principle.
Reena Gupta, just one clarification.
And you can
I may be mistaken. Yes.
Yeah, let me just add 2 more things.
I may be mistaken, but wasn't there a court order also in reference to shutting down these thermal plants in Delhi?
Absolutely. They have all been shut down. All of them have been shut down. The 3 of them, we are buying very expensive electricity.
You can't take credit for doing something that the court asked you to do.
We did it much before the deadline, Tanvi.
Yeah, but you can't take credit for something that you were asked to do. But the court ordered those to be shut down. What option did you have?
And what option do Punjab and Haryana and UP and Rajasthan have of still running those plans? I'm surprised at your response. Instead of asking Punjab and Haryana...
What about it doesn't work on this channel, Reena Gupta? I think if you heard my arguments with both the BJP and the Congress in the first 20 minutes, if you heard my arguments in the first 20 minutes, you would have realized I asked tough questions to every side. So please don't give me whataboutery here.
Yes, go ahead and finish. I just want to add 2 more things. Delhi is the only state which has 24/7 electricity. So there are no diesel generators in Delhi. Recently, EPCA came out with an order saying that diesel gensets should be closed in all the NCR states. Haryana has put an affidavit that, sorry, we can't do this because we have hundreds of societies in Gurgaon and Faridabad which are running only on gensets. They're not even connected to the grid. Why are they running on gensets? Why are they not connected to the grid? How can they be allowed to run on gensets? So these are the questions that need to be asked. You know, you can keep saying, Punjab and Haryana can keep saying, why did Delhi not do this? Why did Delhi not do that? Let's talk about what they did. You know, we are the only state which actually, which is experimenting with the Pusa decomposer. We have no Parali in Delhi. Why? And we wrote letters to all of these state governments and the union governments saying that please, Pusa has come out with a solution. Let's use the solution. Why did the other governments not take up on that solution?
Okay. All right. Now let me just go across to our 5th panelist who's not spoken but has patiently heard everybody out. Now, and as I go to him, I just want to read out what the Supreme Court said in November 2019. That lifespan of millions of citizens are being shortened. Delhi is worse than hell. Why are people being forced to live in gas chambers? You have no right to be in chair. How much do you value a person's life? This is how states and the central government were slammed by the Supreme Court a year ago. It's better that you just go and kill them all in one go. Just take explosives worth 50 kg and just explode and blast them off. That's how frustrated and angry the Supreme Court was. Here is another example. When the Punjab government was specifically slammed by Supreme Court, why shouldn't authorities be fined? The government has failed to take control of the state. Despite SC orders, stubble burning continues. If the government can't take control, then you should pay compensation, but the Punjab government lacks willpower. Here is how UP government was slammed by the Supreme Court. Why shouldn't we fine you? Life in India is not so cheap anymore. Here is how the Haryana government was pulled up. Again, why is government not investing money to stop it? Blame game is not serving the people of Delhi. Now, so the question is very simple. 128 orders, Nikhil Jain, from the top court in 5 years. How is it that Delhi is still struggling to breathe?
The problem is, I had a recent study, number of stubble fires as per SAFAR was 375 on 13th of October. And it increased to 600 on 15th. That is, there's an increase of around 30% per day. There's a NASA firm's map which shows that there is a stubble firing around 1200. Other estimates also showing that. These kinds of things. And see, Delhi government, I don't think that the other factors would be mitigating, because stubble burning is the most important thing during these days. And there's a study also of Harvard University that there is an increase of around 8% of COVID due to these stubble burning. Air quality becomes so bad and the suspended particulates are in the air. So there is an increase of 8% also. So I would say that there has to be some monitoring which the Supreme Court has done by appointing a committee.
Okay, no, but I'm just trying to understand that legally speaking, when there have been so many orders and on ground, if we talk about the 5 main issues that may be impacting the air quality in Delhi, almost in most we've not fully achieved our plan and what the Supreme Court would have wanted. Is there not a case here for the governments and for the government officials to then be held in contempt?
See, contempt. There is contempt, but see, by holding them for contempt, you can't change the air quality. At least you have to do something so that we should have fresh air to breathe in. Holding in contempt would not be a solution for that.
All right. I also have a viewer who's on the phone line. Let me go across to him. Major Samra is on the phone line calling us from Ludhiana. Good evening to you. It's been a long time since we spoke, Major Samra, but thank you for calling. What's your view on this debate?
Good evening, Bitya. Just give me 2 minutes to speak, please, without anybody interrupting. We city yuppies have one issue. We have more cars per household than the residents. That means every resident has a car. And most of the cars are parked outside, not inside. Why can't Delhi shed this car culture and become a little more dependent on public transport? I personally do everything within 5 kilometers on my bicycle. Why can't Delhi do it? For everything to buy bread, people go in a car. It is the bad habit of cities. Don't let the buck stop with the farmer. Farmer can't do it. He has no wherewithal to handle all this. Either you give the money to buy the machinery, or the cities change their habits. I think we have a very, very bad habits. The city folks have a very bad habit of riding these fossil fuel cars all the time. Hello, are you there?
Okay, thank you so much for calling and sharing your view. I agree with you. There is a point on what the citizens can also do at their own end. But when we speak about reducing private transport, then we have to talk about, Reena Gupta, about the existing public transport. And then the question becomes, when are we going to strengthen that?
Tanvi, I would really like to thank the gentleman who just called, and I totally agree with him that we really need to move beyond this culture of cars. And Delhi government has been trying its best. We've just added some 1,600 more buses this year to the fleet. And we're also hoping that the new EV policy that we've launched, which is one of the most progressive policies in the world, will help Delhi move towards more electric mobility. And especially the two-wheelers, we are hoping that a lot of incentives and subsidies which have been planned in this scheme. So over the next 1 year, we are hoping at least 30% of the Delhi two-wheelers will convert to electric two-wheelers. And at the same time, we've added hundreds of kilometers of metro connectivity. However, there's only one small issue that we keep facing in respect to the buses. We don't manage to get enough parking space from DDA in Delhi to park our buses. So if DDA could help us in getting more space to park the buses, then our fleet can get even more stronger. But I totally agree, and we do have a lot of other plans of app sharing and last mile connectivity that we are hoping will get implemented this year for sure. But having said that, again, we cannot keep focusing on Delhi, NCR, Gurgaon, Noida. Have you looked at the pathetic state of public transport? My parents live in Gurgaon, and there is no way you can travel anywhere in Gurgaon unless you have a car. So, and all of that pollution from Gurgaon also ends up in Delhi. So we have to keep looking at the whole NCR planning process and provide mobility across cities of Gurgaon, Delhi and Noida.
Can I come in?
Only then we can solve the issue of cars and the congestions that cause.
Tanvi, she's blatantly lying on the TV.
Okay,
Gurgaon
Abhishek.
has one of the best
One at a
public
time, please, Mr.
transport
Aman Malik.
buses which have come in, and there's a major improvement. If people do not want to travel in public transport, it is not the government's fault. We have introduced about 200 buses in Gurgaon, and they are all low floor buses. They are all well connected.
I think it'll be
and you
also
have
good to
apps
get
and
some
everything.
roads in
So if
Gurgaon
you
for
do not
those
want to
buses to run
understand,
on.
if you do not know, please do not talk.
Tanvi,
Talk what you know.
Okay,
Tanvi,
okay. Yes, Abhishek Dutt. Abhishek Dutt has been wanting to make a point. Yes.
I must compliment the Aam Aadmi spokesperson for giving so much of wrong facts with 100% confidence. I've shared an RTI with you, which is from the Delhi government. It's shocking to see in the last 6 years, and I'm talking about an RTI which is as recent as 17/9/2020, and I've shared that with your channel also. You can put that on the channel. In the last 6 years, Delhi government has not even purchased a single bus. This is the data which has been shared by the Delhi government.
You have some wrong data. I can share, once we get off the program, I can share the latest data with you. In the last 1 year, 1,600 new buses have been added. And I can say that with conviction because I checked with the transport department before coming on the show.
One at a time, please. One at a time. 1 minute, Mr. Abhishek Dutt. Mr. Abhishek Dutt, firstly, I will not. Thank you for sharing the RTI. We will look into it, verified before we put it up on our channel. Nothing unverified goes on this channel. But you can explain to us what is this RTI that you are referring to? Where was yes. I am letting you complete.
Okay.
Where was it applied? Where did you seek the information?
Yes.
What's the date on it, and what was the response?
The date is 17/9/2020. The reply has come from Delhi Transport Corporation, Hoskas Terminal. I've asked them a question. The question is, how many DTC buses were purchased by Delhi government in the last 6 years? The reply is Delhi DTC has not purchased a single bus. I'll forward it. As per the decision of the Delhi government, NCT requires 11,000 buses in Delhi. As per the decision, we have 3,762 buses working. This is an official RTI reply from DTC. My point to my friend from Aam Aadmi Party is don't shoot the messenger. Take our suggestions. Talk about Metro third phase. Talk about Metro fourth phase. You look at your 70-point election manifesto. You talked about vacuum cleaning of Delhi streets. Tell me, have you purchased one single vacuum cleaner for Delhi streets? Not even one. What have you done towards reducing landfill sites in Delhi? The order passed by you in 2017 regarding the basic issue. What was the basic issue? 2017, you talked about solid waste management rules. Are you following the solid waste management rules? You are not. So please understand.
Can I come in now, Tanvi?
So let me complete and then you can come in. Tell me one colony in Delhi. No, tell me my last point. Tell me one colony in Delhi which is segregating waste at source. And the last point of your solid waste management was very clear. The point was any colony which is getting more than 100 tons of waste has to have their own plant for segregating. Are you doing that in Delhi? And the machine you're showing is by NDMC, in which Delhi government has got no role.
Okay, Reena Gupta. Yes. Reena Gupta to respond. Yes, go ahead.
If I'm not wrong, Mr. Abhishek Dutt is a councillor, right?
Absolutely. And I was ranked #1 councillor in Delhi, just for your information.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't think you're really attending the council meetings or anything because waste segregation is really the responsibility of MCD.
No personal attacks, Reena Gupta. Let's just get to the specifics.
Listen,
I'm getting to the specifics. Why is he talking about landfill sites?
Reena Gupta,
I'm
talking about my city.
Oh God,
can you
please keep quiet and let me complete? I did not interrupt when you were talking.
Please,
wow.
please. Let's not get derailed here. Please respond on the specific point that's been raised by the Congress. That an RTI response says DTC hasn't bought any new bus in 6 years.
Yes, so please can I respond? I have this, I'm reading it out from the information sent to me by the Transport Department. As of 16/10/2020, there are 6,601 buses. in the last 1 year, from August 2019 till today, in the last 1.2 years, 1,160 buses have been added to the fleet. I would be more than happy to provide all this information to Mr. Abhishek. Maybe he filed the RTI at the Horsecast terminal, and the Horsecast terminal may have not received any new buses. I have filed it with the Honorable Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, just for your information. Abhishek, please let me come to the other points.
No, don't give wrong information. I won't allow you.
Everybody knows, every citizen of Delhi knows that the waste is the responsibility of MCD. And I have to say that MCD is one of the most corrupt bodies of this city. They have a budget of 18,000 crores, and every year they don't manage to pay the Safai Karamcharis. And these landfill sites, which every year
Can I comment, Tanvi?
Halaswal.
Tanvi, I will not agree to be in this kind of debate.
God, no, we can't have a debate like
is
this,
not
Tanvi.
ready to listen to what
We
the others
can't
have
have
to
a
say.
debate like
I've been
this.
very
I was
patiently
listening
listening.
very quietly to him.
No,
we
you
cannot
were
have
not.
a debate like this.
1 minute, gentlemen.
You
Let
are
me
not.
hear the point. Okay. I am completely out of time. I am completely out of time, at least for the political representatives.
The landfill sites, the management of the landfill sites is
He
the
has a-
responsibility of
It is very clear.
MCD.
You have
We
not
have
been
given
saying-
370 crores
It is.
rupees
It is.
into the escrow
You are right.
account for the management of these landfill sites.
Oh,
How can you come on
Miss-
TV and
please
speak
don't
this
yell in my ear.
nonsense?
Please, I don't want any more yelling. And I don't want any more yelling. Can we just stop yelling? The fact of the matter is that when it comes to the landfills, the responsibility does come down not just with the Delhi government but with the corporation. But unfortunately, instead of each entity doing their own job, they are more interested in pointing out where the other side has failed. No political party, no state government, no corporation can today take the moral high ground on saying that we have done our part, what about you? They have all failed in meeting their own targets, in fulfilling their own promises. And which is why students, young teenagers like Aditya are now going to the Supreme Court as the last resort, because the situation in the national capital is so bad. Imagine that the students are having to take up this cause and go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has had to pass 128 orders in the last 5 years, and nothing about the air quality has changed. And then every time you ask the politicians, they simply turn to the other side and say they are to be blamed. The Supreme Court, the National Green Tribunal, has repeatedly told the state governments to sit down together and resolve the stubble burning problem. And it's a joke, the number of meetings that would have been held between all sides to resolve the problem. They all want to come on national TV and news channels and say, let's sit together and talk. But they don't actually. Unfortunately, that's the reality. Thank you so much to all of our panelists and to the viewers for joining us on this conversation.